Hey guys, quickly wanted to show you a leads chatbot which you can easily make with. I made it for this video both in Voiceflow and Botpress, which basically captures user data and sends the data to Google spreadsheets. So yeah, let's get to it. So firstly, I'm gonna start with Voiceflow, and I'm gonna start with um, showing you how the bot actually works at first, the user interaction with it, so how it actually works in the website, right? And then after that, I'm going to show you the actual workflow and how it works, all the steps, and why I've done it, the way I've done it, right? So yeah, let's get to it. So here we have our blank HTML page, of course. And here's our chatbot. So this chatbot is from a company that sells makeup products, right? So we open the chatbot. So whenever a user is on the company's website and the user has any questions about a particular uh, makeup product, right, or some recommendations or whatnot. So yeah, our bot greets us. Hi, beautiful. Do you have any questions? Beautiful, obviously, because it's probably for the girls, right? Do you have any questions? Yeah, let's ask it. What are the essentials in makeup? Let's see how it does. The essential makeup items that typically include foundation, concealer, powder, mascara, lip product, eye makeup. These basic items. Do you have another question for me to help? Okay, let's say, what is SPF? SPF stands for Sun Protection Factor. Is a measure. So yeah, basically it answers all of our questions. And what I've done is, whenever a user asks a certain amount of questions and gets the answer to it, so the user gets some help, right? Some help. Then our chatbot pitches our user. In our case, it's her, right? Most probably, unless you're buying for your girlfriend. Um, hey, I hope I have been helpful so far. Would you mind sharing with us your contact info, such as full name, phone number, and email exchange for a free book with the best makeup routine? So we're asking the user to give us her personal info, to get it as a lead and store it in Google Sheet. But most probably the user would not give us her info for free. So in this case, we are asking to give us that info in exchange for a ebook with the best makeup routines, and the user can choose yes or no. Let's choose yes, and it asks us basically the info. So let's say vaccine and the phone number again, and email. Thanks. Here's your free book. Enjoy it. So we can claim it, and let's see if our data went to the actual Google Sheet. So yeah, here you can see name, phone number, email. We have our data right here. So let's go to the workflow. And so here's our workflow, and I'm gonna show you quickly. I'll try to, because we have WordPress still. How everything works, right? So Bot greets our user. Then it asks the actual question. It listens for the user's question. Then this step is pretty interesting because Voiceflow cannot handle a knowledge base fallback. So if so, I forgot to show you also. Here's our knowledge base. It's basically Wikipedia of cosmetics. It stores information about cosmetics. So if we ask, Voiceflow has that problem, and it, as far as I know, they're working on it right now. They're gonna push it soon. But whenever I ask a question that is that my knowledge base cannot answer, that my knowledge base do not know the answer to, right? The Voiceflow queries, instead of my knowledge base that I've uploaded, queries the general internet knowledge base. So it just Googles the information, it still gives me. So right, I can't really tell Voiceflow to say something. Basically, say I don't know if there's no answer in my knowledge base that I uploaded, right? So, but I have a workaround for that, and I do that this way. I'm gonna try to explain you. So this step is a set AI step. It just saves the answer from the knowledge base, right? From the two knowledge bases. If it doesn't find the answer in my knowledge base, in my Wikipedia knowledge base that I uploaded, it queries its backup, let's say backup, quote unquote, knowledge base, and it saves the answer to the variable I created named KB response. Then we go another set AI step called content classification. So how do we do it? How do we tell the Voiceflow to tell us that to tell us, quote unquote, I don't know, if the answer is not from our knowledge base, right? So we do it this way. If the given context is about, so we classify the actual response, and we basically tell the Voiceflow AI to apply to our variable named content classification, apply it to 1 if the answer is about cosmetics or related to skincare. If it's not related to cosmetics or skincare, then assign it to 0. As you can see, the given content is about cosmetics related to skin, then assign it to 1. If the given content is not about cosmetics or related to skin, then assign it to 0. Don't add any words to your response, answer only with 1 or 0. So we can handle that later without any problems. So it just has 1 or 0, right? So we give it what's the given content, what message should it read, right? To check whether it's about cosmetics or skincare. In our case, it's KB response, which we've saved the answer to in previous step here, right? And in prompt settings, we just saying you're a content classifier, and then we are handling the actual 1 or 0 if the answer is from KB. If the content classification is 1, then what we do is give our user the actual response, KB response. And if it's not about, no match. If it's no match, if it's basically 0, then we say, sorry, couldn't find the answer to your question, please try again. It means, and sends us back to the main loop, which is this, capture capture the question, right? So we go back this way, back this path. What also we have here is increased amount of answer questions. So how do we push? You know, we are pushing a after I already told you we are pushing a we asking our user to exchange its personal information in exchange for our free ebook, right? So we do this. So whenever our user gets the answer, we increase the variable amount of answered questions by 1. So after 2 answered questions, we ask our user whether she wants to get the best get a free book, and if it doesn't, it asks, do you have another question for me to help? And again, sends back to the main loop, which is another question, right? So here, if the user says yes, as you can see, it asks the actual personal information. If the user says no, it just sends him to the end. But we can handle it any other way. There is a lot of ideas and how you can handle the no. You can do, right? So it asks the name and captures name. And if we know much, if the user types something random right instead of his name, like numbers or whatnot, it asks him her format, please say again, and then so on with phone number and email. Then we send our Zapier, we send API call to Zapier with all of our parameters, name, phone number, and email, and yeah, and if success, give the user a free ebook, and if not, if the API call was not successful, API call, we get an error, API call unsuccessful. So yeah, now let's get to the Botpress. So here is the Botpress. Let's see. It's just, let's say hi. Botpress thinks, hi beautiful, do you have any questions? Yes, what is mascara? We get the answer. What is this graph? So we don't take too much, and this video is not 30 minutes, right? So we get the answer too, and it asks again after 2 questions, right? If it sees that we get the answer to 2 questions, and the bot asks whether the user wants to give the information in exchange for a free ebook with the best makeup routines, right? So we choose yes. Basically same process, but just with Botpress. I wanted to show you that it's very similar and easy to make if you have made it with Voiceflow. It's very easy to replicate in Botpress and the other way around. And the phone number again. And let's see, email. And let's see if we get our information. Here we go. Maxine number and Gmail and email. And here was our workflow. Basically the same, just a little bit, just a few differences. User greetings, same user greetings. Do you have any questions? This is our main loop. It's a little bit messy, I know. That's why I wanted to start with Voiceflow because it's easier to see it visually there, right? So it's gonna be easier on Botpress after Voiceflow because you already understand it. We wait for the user input, so the user's questions. As you can see, here's our knowledge base, with cosmetics, and we ask for the user input. If the intent is yes, it means basically it asks the user, do you have any questions? If the user says yes, right, it's not a question. It sends just it sends the user to whenever a user says yes, we ask the user also what question do you have, right? And sends back to our main loop. If no, it just sends into the end, obviously. So we handle this the way in Botpress, it's easier to handle the knowledge fallback. The knowledge agent answered yes or no. If it answered, we go 1 second. We go here, another question. Increase the amount of basically the same as Voiceflow. We increase the amount of answered questions by 1, and it checks whether the number of answered questions is already 2. If it is 2, then we go to the same path. We ask the user whether she wants to a free ebook, right? And if it's not, it just asks him, do you have another questions? Her again. So yeah, and after, so here's we go. If there's already to answer questions, we go here. Yes, we go to the capture step, to the capture info step, and after that we go to the free ebook, as you can see. Free ebook, just a card, and then we send data to, in this case, to the make. In Voiceflow we did it with Zapier, and here we did it with make, but it really doesn't matter. It's basically the same process. There's almost no differences. So yeah, guys, that's it. Thanks.